It is April 12th, and here in Yerevan, it is most definitely spring. We had a beautiful day today, and we are 25 days away from the election. Here we go with today's English update. Yerevan wrote an article called "The ARF May Rent Its Program to the Other Parties." In it, they quote sociologist Aharon Atabekian's opinion, who says, "The points are so understandable and acceptable to all the layers of society that it can rent the program to the other parties." There are two thoughts behind this. One, Atabekian is complimenting the ARF party for having a clear platform. He's also likely referring to the perceived lack of a clear platform by other parties. Armenian political parties are often criticized for this. He also notes that 70% of the population will take part in the elections. That is a big number, 41% of which he believes is educated about the elections. That is not a big number. Continuing the topic of surveys, Gentron television reporter Bedros Gazarian writes in his blog, The Death of the Science, that there is shadow economy, shadow politics, and actually a shadow sociology in Armenia. That is an interesting concept, the idea of an underground society. Gazarian also quotes a recent remark by U.S. Ambassador John Heffern. Heffern cited sources saying only 12% of Armenians actually expect a fair election. Okay, we know voter fraud is always suspected in Armenia. It's actually quite possible that the perception exceeds the reality. That's just one person's opinion. However, today, Azatuchan AM writes that the police doesn't have any information concerning those who are permanently absent from the country and cannot provide the list of those who are absent from the country and on the voting list. This is not the type of news that will stem the feeling of rampant voter fraud. Setting the parliamentary elections aside and already talking about the 2013 presidential election, which will be held next winter, Marxist David Hagopian is preparing for the 2013 presidential elections, and according to news.am, the general direction of the Marxist Party's focus will be those elections. To sum it up, the Marxists are eyeing the presidency. The same online news source writes that Deputy Grigori Markarian has been nominated by the Prosperous Armenian Party in the 11th constituency, and in the case of victory, he will become a member of Prosperous Armenia faction. Here's the problem. He's already a Republican Party member. The same guy in 2003 to 2007 was a member of the Rule of Law faction. Hagagan Jamanak Deli Marx. He has set an aim for himself to be a fraction member of ARF, then Heritage, and of course Armenian National Congress. The implication is that this guy is going to join every party, and for some, it's hard to believe that somebody like that has a platform more than just a wish to be elected. And finally, what do you tell your wife or husband? Film director Digran Kazmalian's wife was apparently included in the Republican Party's candidate list, but he has said in the past that he didn't know, or that's the story. Anyway, she has withdrawn her name from the Republican electoral list, saying she is not interested in politics. If she puts her name back in it, we will let you know. We will not know if she told her husband first. And once again, since we were talking about proportional versus majoritarian versus what happens, we encourage you to watch this report explaining the differences. The election is 25 days away, and I can tell you being here that it is an exciting time. There are events seemingly every night. We're starting to see the posters, etc. Check in with us every night here on CIVILNET.am at 8 p.m. in Armenia, 5 o'clock in London, 12 in New York, 9 a.m. in Los Angeles. Good night.